Hi guys, me again, and this video is going to be working on investment strategy, the different types of offerings, and I do want to cover off a little bit about regulation because I do want you guys to understand. We understand the frustrations of time, and we have the same frustrations, but I just do need you guys to understand that, again, as I said last time, it's not a quick flick of a switch and we get a regulatory stamp in a particular country. So first of all, we have to find the right lawyers to make sure that they are experts in their field, in their particular country. We have to make sure that then we give them the right documentation, and then they're able to go and put that forward. And it's not a one-page document and a week later you get a stamp. Some of the regulatory environments in the world can take up to 12 months to get us a regulatory stamp to be able to do what we want to do. Some of them take a few months, some of them take a few weeks. But we are in the hands of the regulator and we are in the hands of the lawyer. And once we have all that in place, then dependent on what offering will then depend on the user flow, which means that regulatorily, we have to follow a certain process and a certain procedure as far as how we have that technology, onboarding, marketing, and all different aspects of what is shown to the consumer, which is you guys at the front end. Each one of those technological aspects then requires us potentially a different technology flow, which that brings in Graham's team. Some of it's similar, some of it needs some tweaks, some of it needs a week's worth of technology or a week's worth of development, some of it needs 6 weeks of development. And this is what takes the time, guys. So we've been building those platforms, those different experiences, those different aspects over the last weeks and months to make sure that when we launch our next units, whether it be Sky Villas, whether it be Cape Verde, whether there be others, that these are now robust for us to effectively drop in new regulatory opportunities in the various other jurisdictions without a massive amount of technology and development time, okay, and cost, don't forget. Anyway, so I just wanted to cover that off, guys. First of all, just to give you a bit of an insight, it's not a flick of a switch, okay? So let's just talk about the different strategies, because we already know we have the US offering accredited, which we used for Cape Verde earlier on the year, that we effectively sold out in 5 minutes, which is fantastic, and we'll definitely be using that accreditation again. We also already know we have let's call it a global offering for professional investors, and circumstances that you're in and that you are able to tick the various self-certification boxes that we've already provided, and we will be providing again on the next offerings. This will allow you then to be able to come in as a professional investor and invest in all of the different properties and products and assets that we have. So we already have that in place as well. The third offering is the European retail offering that we've been working in Germany on, we're working in the Netherlands on, and various other jurisdictions within Europe that will be available for us to be able to get retail investors on board and onboarded very quickly. And we've been working on that. And at the moment, we've also been working on a low note opportunity, which we've mentioned before, and that's pretty much done, to be honest, and that's going to be rolled out pretty quickly. And we're just working on the tech element of it, and that is great because that's available for everybody, whether you're retail or whether you're accredited and professional, and it's available in multiple jurisdictions as well. And that's quite good, to be honest. I would say that's sexy. Okay. We're also working on investment clubs and other types of investment strategies. Okay, the different types of offering, which will give us the breadth and the width and the depth that we'll be able to offer, as I said, as many clients as possible. Now let's talk about the different offerings and strategic offerings that will dovetail a lot of the time with the regulation and the offerings, because when we actually go to a regulator and they want to know what we're going to be doing and what kind of investment, how long and what's going to produce, etc., etc. So we'll be looking at terms. We'll be saying, is this a 1 year deal, 2 year deal, 3 year, 5 year? What kind of deal are we looking at? Are we looking at something with pure capital growth where there's no income? Are we looking at something where there's all income and no capital growth? Are we looking at where there's income and capital growth? Are we looking at pure flips? In other words, are we looking at short-term buying and selling and acquiring and disposing of assets? And that might take a few weeks, it might take a few months, but normally within a 12-month period, we would be into flips. Are we looking at property that's off plan? So in other words, we've got 2 years before it starts to be built or is built. So therefore, we've got a big uplift in the initial stages, which you would expect if you buy properly. And then we get it switched into the asset under management. So therefore, we start getting a return from a yield point of view. And then we get into the normal capital growth within that country, in that jurisdiction, that location, that property, etc., etc. So all of these things need to be included, and we have opportunities in our hands for all of those different opportunities today. Lots of different countries, lots of different jurisdictions that we're going to be offering the assets in, and now I can confirm that we are and will be offering those different assets, different asset classes, let's say, and strategies across the board. Again, they won't all come together at once because of technology and what we've got to put in place. But what I can say is we work on them all right now. And as we roll in out Sky Villas and Cape Verde, then our others will be coming through in the background. So those are different types of strategies, different types of offerings, different types of regulation. And I just thought I'd drop that for you guys just to give you a bit of an insight on what's to come. Cheers, guys.